Hello, this is Bob Villarreal, and thank you for joining me for the tour of for Chapter 6. Now, I have to explain what you're looking at here. We're looking south, by the way, and uh, these are little hidden lagoons I found, lagunas that I found in this part of the Andes, and thought I'd add it to the site for your visual enjoyment here. Let me tell you where we are. If you look uh, up in the back there to the left, you can see part of the surface of Laguna Verde. And you know, we've been there. I've taken you there a couple of times. Then right behind it is Ojos del Salado. Well, uh, continue, drive west or to the right over the Great Plateau. And but in the middle of this particular frame is Tres Cruces, where we're going to be going in just a couple of minutes. If you keep going west, you'll see the Maricunga Salar, and we've been there a couple of times. And its southern extension is Laguna Santa Rosa. Now, by my reckoning, I've flown over this several times. By my reckoning, it's about, I'd say about 40 miles, 45 miles north northwest from Laguna Verde, this area here, and about the same distance, 45 miles northeast from Tres Cruces. And look at it. It's just, I mean, this is just amazing. You come across this stuff, and it's enough to take your breath away. Look, there's this, and I can't tell how wide these are. I mean, you can see there's a little track down there. People have been out here, but as I said, I've never been here until with Google Earth. But here's a small little pond right below us, and then it looks like a bifidal. We've seen those before. Now this larger laguna, and look on its shores, at least right there on the left, and it looks at its southernmost extension, are two emerald green ponds. Now go to the left of this blue pond laguna here, and look at this green emerald green pond. Just amazing, fantastic. Now if we go over here, look at the dark, rich bluish green of this small laguna. And there's more. Look, there's all in this one area is just. Now here's some more over here. Not quite as dramatic in color, but they're still remarkable in appearance. Here's another one out here. I can't tell what color it is. I've been down pretty close to it. It looks like it's just really dark, and but still, it's quite a sight. Well, and look out there in the distance. There's some more patches of blue out there. Yeah. So I wanted to share that with you. Well, let's get to work here. Let's go to Tres Cruces Base Camp. And we were just here in Chapter 5, so I know you're familiar with the mountain. Let me talk about this particular chapter. Uh, tells stories of uh, three climbs with clients, and and the chapter tells what happened on each one. They were notable for different reasons, and so I tell their stories. Now, I began guiding and thought I'd pick it up every now and then, whenever somebody wanted to go with me in 1995. And I always chose Tres Cruces for these guided climbs because it's um, it's like Ojos del Salado. I mean, it's fairly easy to get off, and you've got Highway 31 a short distance away to the north. And so if I had to get out of here with a client for whatever reason, um, from base camp here to Highway 31 is only like, I don't know, 3 hours. And then wait a couple of hours for somebody to come along and hitch a ride to the Maricunga station where we call Pat and have him come out and get us the next day. So that's why I chose Tres Cruces. Now, and I don't mention any of this in the book, but you know, I always felt uncomfortable guiding people. I became so I was always wary and concerned about their well-being and safety, and so that took away some of the pleasure for me. I was constantly focused on them, and oftentimes it took away from my enjoyment because I enjoyed just being alone on a big peak. But anyway, the only exception to that was with Don, and you might remember in Chapter 5, I have 2 flashbacks to the climb that when I guided him a couple of years ago, and he was just an outstanding human being. You know, he was just a wonderful guy. So I really enjoyed being with him. Okay, well, let's talk about, there's 3 separate stories here, and the first one was in March 1998 with Frank and Bill, and you know, we got, you can read about the problems. We got to Camp 1 and then to a Camp 2. Well, we then had to retreat, and you'll see why. And so we went back down the mountain. You might remember Rio Lama Falls. There's an extension of it right to the left. And you know, you just walk off to the foot of the mountain, and then it's fairly flat over here to Highway 31. And you can see Highway 31 right there in the middle of the picture. And there's more Lama Falls. And you can see how the highway skirts this area right here and then shoots north. And it goes on up to the Maricunga Custom Station. And we've been here before, so I'm sure you remember that and recognize it. Just a little settlement there. Well, something happened here. We got a ride. You can read that. We got a ride. But something happened here that night that was unforgettable. So please enjoy reading that. Now, the last part of this particular story, not of the chapter, but of this story with Frank and Bill, something happened. We retreated from the mountain, and something happened that caused a sequel. It was a couple of years later. Patricio was taking me down to Pieces. I was going to try Pieces again, and there was too much snow. So I said, well, let's go back to Tres Cruces. You can read, I just briefly mentioned this. There was too much snow. Then I said, can we do this? And so we tried it, and we did it, and you can read what that was all about. Well, let's go back to our favorite place here, Tres Cruces base camp. And this second climb was in March of 1999 with Richard. And we reached between base and Camp 1. We didn't even get to Camp 1, but right in there. We got around the mound here, and we were heading for Camp 1, and then that you can read what happened. Well, the third climb took place here in March of 2001 with Sam, and we just got to base camp, and then things just ran off the rails very quickly, and you can read about that. It was something that convinced me never to guide again. Well, with that, I'll leave it, and thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the chapter.